Now, the Boise County Sheriff's Office says the main concern right now is the north end of this fire, which is where you're seeing the smoke just over the ridge. Yeah, Brenda and Joe, we're definitely in that countdown of having 30 minutes left to cast early votes. Now, there's a pretty long line here. The parking lot is packed. We're told it's going to take people about an hour to get through this line. Brian Kohberger's attorneys continue to argue why they think specific evidence should not be allowed to be used against him in court. A drive along Highway 21 will take you to Stanley, in the eastern shadow of Idaho's Sawtooth Range.
Stanley's always just a great getaway.
A town with just over 100 residents. It swells with sightseers and trail seekers in the summertime.
Hi.
Business owners try to meet their yearly budget.
And then a Reuben, you said?
In just 4 months.
We get thousands of tourists who are here to recreate in the mountains and rivers.
3608 for you.
That we're so close by.
All right, thank you so much.
That's our main product, hospitality in this town.
But a drive there these days, visitors get another view of Stanley. One that stands out, almost as what's left of a summer, waylaid by wildfires.
One night that we had a string band playing, and you could see flames on the ridge line behind it, and it was this, well, it was a surreal moment, I'll say.
Tim Cron has owned the Stanley Bakery for 21 years and the Sawtooth Hotel for the last 16.
We've had wildfires almost every year, but never this close.
In July, the Sawtooths were hit with 2 back-to-back wildfires. And although the town survived without losing any buildings, the damage was still done to local businesses. Most river trips start with the same ritual, loading up food, water, maybe even some camping gear.
Here's Banjo. Here's Banjo.
But this one's different.
Every little dollar warms us up.
What if you brought $0?
We don't bring any food or money to start the journey. We say we're going to go from point A to point B. We're going to rely on music. Sounds like we've all had enough, and it sounds like
Meet the Colorado band, A Brother's Fountain.
we call it campfire folk. And sometimes it's campfire folk where you're really just chilling around the fire and kind of thinking about the deep things of life, watching the embers flood into the stars. Sometimes it's campfire folk where you're drinking whiskey and wrestling your friends in the dirt. So it runs the gamut between rowdy and soft.
They are going with the flow, literally.
We want to break the mold. We want to break the box that we all live in. We all have this routine, this kind of day-to-day thing, and we want to, do something different, do something weird, something that catches people's imagination.
For 3 weeks, they're testing whether or not their sounds can keep them afloat.
We trade music for all provisions and kind of put music to the test and the power of music to bring people together.
Now, at 89, he's been telling his story for 20 years. Why?
How do you expect the kids to know? Because if they've never heard of this, it's an event a long time ago. The importance to me is not just my personal story, but in daily events right in this country and over the world. Unless if you have some information about the Holocaust, about how it transpired, there are some signs today similar to those before Hitler came into power. How do you recognize when it starts to happen again if you're not taught about it?
Soon there won't be any survivors.
That's right.
What do you want future generations to know about the Holocaust?
It is a real experience. It's not based on any opinions. It's based on factuals. So it needs to be perpetrated just like all parts of history.
It made me proud. It made me want to research. It made me want to just know what a police wife is, what that role looks like.
A role she embraced.
You gotta kind of have thick skin and know what's coming.
From the beginning of their marriage, Tobin prepared Abby for the risks of his profession.
There was a woman officer that died in Sacramento. He specifically took me to that funeral and sat down with me on our drive home and said, okay, this was a big funeral. Mine could be this big. And we literally walked through what his funeral could look like. That was our first year of marriage.
Abby says those conversations, though difficult, have helped her navigate the past year without him. Deputy Bolter was shot and killed in the line of duty last April.